Measure is a collective voice. It's not just one person's voice. And so I hope that when people are reading this and thinking about how it was made, that they can hear every little comment and opinion that was made, you know, to make it what it is, what it was, what it's going to be.
Hi, I'm Juliana Manrique, and I am the Design and Layout Director.
Hi, I'm Melina Hess. I'm the Student Director of Branding and Social Media.
Hi, I'm Samantha Hirschhorn, and I am Student Director of Fashion.
Hi, my name is Haley Hartman, and I'm the Student Director of Digital Production.
Hi, my name is Olivia Renee Young. I'm the Student Editor-in-Chief of Measure Magazine Volume 12.
The thought process of trying to make it easy to read but also creative, and depending on the vibe that we're going for a design, I really will lean towards one or another just because it'll be easier to decide, are we really leaning into what we want to focus on the story, or are we leaning towards more so the design aspect of the spread? So it's really depending on what we're doing for that day and what my team is doing. I really found myself finding a lot of inspiration from my team. Having a team that is so focused together on one aspect and really wanting to just make this magazine a perfect magazine, figuring out, this is the spread, and then figuring out this is the story. How am I going to relay that in this spread and then relay it into the whole magazine so that it is a cohesive magazine?
The brand of our magazine is very fun and colorful. We incorporated all the branding colors into our posts to give people a feel of what the magazine will look like when it comes out. Each week I would plan out a calendar, and the content that we would post each week depended on what we had going on. If we had the photo shoots that week, I would go to the photo shoots with my team and we would capture behind the scenes content. My team collaborated most with the digital production team. We were at a lot of the shoots to capture behind the scenes. From an outside perspective, people just think it's they're just posting Instagram posts a few times a week, but there's actually a lot more planning that goes into it. We all work together and it's not just one person doing everything. We had our cover launch and promotional video reveal for the first time. To plan that event, we basically came up with a schedule of how we would reveal each thing in order. And then we also just tried to make it a theme that people would enjoy and want to be a part of.
Since for Measure we use the senior design garments, I start the process there, and I actually started at fall semester visiting each designer one-on-one, and I got to know them and their style as a designer and a little bit about their collections. From there, I started with baseline general concepts, and my team got to do the fun, creative stuff. I kind of approved it along the way. I kind of planned each shoot surrounding what garments I saw then. My role on set is to produce it and make sure everything runs smoothly and on time and actually happens. We had a lot of difficulties finding a location for what ended up being the cherry on top shoot. Originally, we were hoping to do a motel style photo shoot and shoot at an actual motel. We had all these grand plans for it and just nothing was working out. I was like, are we gonna have to make the set in my apartment? But we ended up shooting at Nana's Ice Cream and Grill. They're really kind family, and I found it really last minute, and it was really generous of them to allow us to shoot there. It actually ended up being everyone in the class's favorite shoot.
My creative process when it came to the promo video, I really just was playing into the idea of how do we measure up, because The past 2 years that we've had a promotional video, our magazine has had more of a theme going on. It was a bit of a challenge to try and create a video that had a story with it when there was no really like centralized theme to go off of. So what exactly, like dissecting exactly what does that mean? And I kind of landed on this idea of asking these questions and pretty much asking them to the models I casted for the video and just kind of seeing what their personal interpretation of that might have been. In terms of making it reflect the tone, I think collaboration is the most important element of making everything feel similar and feel like Measure. Like we're thinking about Measure Volume 12, but we're also thinking of like Measure's legacy and what it looks like as a whole, and also just collaborating with our branding team, with our fashion team to make sure visually it's all cohesive and that people can learn exactly who we are as a brand from just reading our website. A lot of the ideas that people were bringing in had a very retro vibe. So how is this theme of measuring up prevalent, you know, even decades ago, and how is it prevalent now, and how can we kind of blend this in like a very fun, artistic, and like ambiguous manner? The website is one of the most important aspects of the magazine as a whole because it's, besides the social media, it's like what we're directly saying to our consumers. Obviously we have the physical printed edition, but that's not what everyone gets. What's free to everyone is our website, and anyone can go on it, they can read our stories. We keep the site up all year long, so we will have content coming out even through the summer. You know, we renovate the website every semester while still keeping it consistent with what's been done in the past, but also bringing it forward in new and innovative ways.
I think I have a different experience with the magazine than like even the other directors. Like, I'm not just thinking about one photo shoot, I'm thinking about how all of the photo shoots will work with all of the stories and how that will work with all of the digital work. And seeing it all done, I think, is really nice. I like that I kind of get to have my hands on everything a little bit, get a little taste of what each person is doing, and kind of get to have my hand in all of the pots as opposed to just one pot. It feels like I know it better than everyone. The actual being the editor part has been really easy. It's been really rewarding. It's been humbling and a blessing. But I feel like my job is much more analytical. I just have to view all of the little projects as one big project. So it doesn't really feel like I'm juggling a lot. It just feels like there's a lot of moving parts to one big thing. Where I've been most creative is like figuring out how we're gonna tell everyone how we measure up, and then how we're gonna ask everyone how they measure up. I think this is our strongest cover to date, not just in terms of who it is, but how we went about it and the process of it. And I just feel like this cover, that shoot, that story, this person does that in the best way. This is such a labor of love. There are 116 pages of this magazine, and every single one of them has been touched by every single hand in this class. I think a lot of people assume, oh, like we take these pictures and it's done. And it's like, no. There's hours and hours and hours of work that goes into this outside of the 2 hours we meet a week. I think our magazine is very human. I think it tells a human experience. And I'm gonna say no, we didn't measure up, because I don't think you ever fully get to that. I don't think it's a destination that you get to. I think it's something that's constantly happening. I don't think we ever fully measure up, because life continues to happen and the world turns and everything changes and nothing is permanent. Do I think that we do measure up? Yes, but I don't think that we have measured up. I think this issue is us trying to explore that and find that answer and figure out if we even are, if we even know how to. I hope they continue to ask themselves this like really, really hard question, and it's an uncomfortable one. We're not telling our own story, we're telling the story of others. And that the most important thing that we do is remain humble and authentic. Be ourselves, work really hard, create beautiful art, and be a brat.
Yay! And be brat.